You're still listening to Breakfast Connect on Africa Business Radio. Emerging businesses. That's our topic for discussion today. What are they? How do you spot them? What are their biggest challenges? How are they performing in the midst of this pandemic, this lifetime event we are all living in? We'll be diving into all of that with someone who has over 9 years as a marketing and communications professional, someone who has successfully managed integrated marketing campaigns across diverse industries like banking, finance, insurance, FMCG, beauty and cosmetics, and now most recently, the healthcare industry. She has a specialization in digital marketing and traditional media with a focus on delivering real business results, and she's also an author. Her resume is exhaustive. Kelly Amogu, welcome to Breakfast Connect. So emerging businesses, looking online at a list of the top ones in Nigeria, the search returns such options as cable manufacturing, security, photography, and floriculture. Does this jive with your take on the top emerging businesses in Nigeria today?
I definitely think, the list is definitely not holistic. I think that there have been some niches that may have been ignored. So, for example, social media influencers are now really, really big. Agriculture as a whole, not just agriculture, is gaining a lot of traction. Technology infusion, so like you already said, fintech. I think, even apart from like financial houses, other businesses have also found a way to sort of like infuse technology into the way they do business. So for example, you see people having like telemedicine platforms where you can virtually consult. You see like makeup companies trying to develop technology solutions that can help their consumers buy products online without having to ever come into the store. So I definitely think that technology as a whole has really, really progressed, especially because of the times we're in.
Now, from experience as a consumer banker more than a decade ago, the number one challenge of most small businesses or small business owners is access to credit. Is that still very much the case?
I mean, I feel like it has improved in I would say in the last 2 years. Again, because of the let's say traction that the small businesses are making, but we're definitely not where we're supposed to be. You find out that MSMEs in general contribute to about 48% of the GDP to the country, and yet they are the most underserved population, for lack of better words. So yes, there's definitely a problem with accessing credit, because even when they can't access the credit, you find out that they have ridiculous interest rates, and most of the time these loans, these credit facilities are not long-term. They're not long-term, so it basically doesn't really serve the purpose, because the reason why they came in the first place is because they needed credit to run a business. Most of these things take time to actually start seeing profit or some sort of action. So there's definitely a problem when it comes to accessing credit. You also see that the government, FBN to be precise, has tried to sort of mandate commercial banks to sort of create some avenues for small businesses to be able to access loans. And they try to do that. So yes, it's improving, but we still have a long way to go when it comes to that. I think that apart from the finance, I think talent is one of the major problems that small businesses, a challenge that they face, hiring the right talent, because most times it's either one of the two. So most times they find the right talent, but they're not able to afford it. And other times they don't find the talent, because of numerous reasons, really. So I feel like apart from finance, talent is another area that smaller businesses struggle with.
And let's talk about the current business landscape. as shaped by the global pandemic. In terms of emerging businesses, what has changed, if any?
Oh yeah, so much has changed because of the pandemic. Even down to consumers. I feel like even the way consumers now interact with brands has changed. So what we even would advise is these are very, very unprecedented times. So you need to rediscover the way your consumer, is interacting with your brand right now. Because maybe in the past, if for example, I'll give a rough estimate. So for example, if you used to buy, I use skincare, for example, if you used to buy skincare products or makeup products or whatever, worth a certain amount of money, because of the times that we're in. So everyone knows that, financially, economically, everything is different. People don't have access to the kind of purchasing power that they used to. So automatically there's a shift. There's a shift in the way people buy products, there's a shift in the way people consume information, even online. So everything has definitely changed. And I think that most businesses are finding a way to sort of adapt from the small ones to the big ones to try and just understand their consumers better. So, and you see, I'll give you another example, of that. We saw a lot of brands during this period trying to start producing like hand sanitizer, surface cleaners, even though it was a shift from what they usually would produce. I feel like that's also them trying to adapt and trying to understand that this is what your consumer or what your client, the customer needs at this time. So you have to make it priority. I mean, there are already so many challenges that we're seeing at the moment. The biggest one, especially during the lockdown period, was security. And that's because many people were idle. So security has always been a challenge, and even more right now, because of the amount of people who are not as active as they used to be, or they're even more active, but they're not even seeing as many returns financially as they used to. So that's already a problem. And I feel that's already adding to the socioeconomic problems that we're already having as a nation. So this doesn't really help. So the aviation industry is one, but there's so many other industries that are experiencing, difficult times because of everything that has happened. I feel like the only thriving industry, or not the only thriving industry, but one of the major thriving industries is probably, food, because people have to eat. But I feel like every other industry in one way or another is, struggling or trying to just, get close during this time.
So you're a published author now for the past 6 years. I checked out The World That Stood Still. I'll confess I'm still reading it. What was the inspiration behind the book and what you want readers to take away from it?
So to be very honest with you, every story, every chapter in that book was inspired by a real life happening. Not all of them were, from my life, but most of it were the people around me. So everything there, even though it's fiction, real occurrences are actually embedded in that book. I'm very big on, because the theme of the book is about societal ills. So I'm very big on talking about things like that inspire social change. Only because I feel like it's not being talked about enough, and most people try to shy away from the conversation when things get too deep. So I thought about it, and I'm like, how about you have this conversation in an informal way, not too serious, but there's a bit of, you can see there's a bit of like comedy, try to infuse that in the book, just so that it turns out to be a great read. So I'm very big on societal ills, and I was like, let me try to use my little platform to just get the next person aware of things that could possibly be going on right beside you.
Are you working on anything soon?
Next book. To be honest, I don't know yet. I'll probably start to work on something, say 2021. Because I'm still trying to obviously get in the hands of things for this book. Next project, I actually started working on something during this whole pandemic. So yeah, the pandemic did inspire a lot of people. I'm also very passionate about emerging businesses. I don't like to call them small businesses because they're emerging businesses, and I know that another key thing they struggle with is access to help. So by help, I mean just information and resources online. There's a lot of things online. So it can get very confusing and it can leave you more confused than when you even started the search. So I'm a marketing professional by career, and I was like, how about I help smaller emerging businesses try to just navigate this marketing real side. So I started a little series called Corporate Persona Series with Kelly. The series basically is to just help demystify certain marketing terms or projects that most times you would probably have to pay someone for. Because most times, what you're paying for is your ignorance, You're paying someone who knows it better than you. So I was like, if you're a small business, you're just starting out, you probably don't have the funds for that. So most of your research will probably be online. So I started a 10-minute video, bi-weekly to sort of help smaller businesses. So it's called Corporate Persona Series with Kelly, and I just finished filming the first season.
In terms of what drives small businesses and emerging businesses, how is mentoring, how much of a role does mentoring play in all of that?
I think mentorship, it depends on how you see it. I feel like people have a generic view on mentorship. People believe that there are different types of mentorship. People believe that, if you don't see the person every day, some mentorship. You can mentor, someone can be your mentor from afar. Do you understand? So mentorship for me is more so studying best practices by the person. How do they get, to where they are right now? Basically doing like a study, a case study on whoever it is you want to be your mentor. If you want to go the traditional route of getting a physical person to sort of be your check and balance, that's okay too. But I know that small businesses struggle with mentorship, and that's also because of a cultural factor. So I know people that have access to mentors, but they're skeptical because, they're going to judge me, they're going to probably take my idea. There's that cultural thing. So I don't know that it's a lack of mentors that is the problem, as opposed to maybe how to really think about it and, do it right and actually choosing the right mentor.
All right, thank you for being our guest on the show, and we hope that we can have you on at a later date. You're still listening to Breakfast Connect here on Africa Business Radio. We will be right back.